Did you know that driving under the influence of marijuana is illegal? Driving high will get you a DUI. And if you're wondering if law enforcement can tell you're driving high, well, everyone else can. Friends?
I can tell you drove high.
Parents?
I can tell when you drive high.
Relatives?
I can tell. You drove here high, didn't you?
So what makes you think law enforcement can't?
I can tell.
If you feel different, you drive different. Drive high, get a DUI. Paid for by NHTSA.
Football is so much more than a single season. It's something you look forward to 365 days of the year. Just like Nationwide is so much more than a great insurance company. They're one of America's largest financial services companies, too. For your insurance and financial needs, Nationwide is on your side. Nationwide Investment Services Corporation, member FINRA, Columbus, Ohio.
It's a special Christmas edition of Thursday Night Football, and it's only on Prime Video. Tonight, the Denver Broncos take on the Kansas City Chiefs on Christmas night. Cap off your holiday with an old-school rivalry. Coverage begins at 7:30 p.m. Eastern with football's best party, TNF Tonight, presented by Verizon. Not a Prime member? Not a problem. Simply sign up for a 30-day free trial. It's the Broncos and Chiefs tonight at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, only on Prime Video. Restrictions apply. See Amazon.com/Amazon Prime for details.
Now tuned into the greatest.
So when that bag come, I won't fumble. I'm just stacking on the low, but hey, I'm tired of being humble. Let me get to it. That motivation music. Get control of your life, don't let nobody else do it. Cause and I gon' have Metro S550s cruising. Feel like you winning on the
Yes, sir. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to The Run with me, Manny Wilson, all the way from Detroit to Chicago to your speakers and headphones. I appreciate you tuning in to the first interactive sports podcast, a community that makes sure your voice is heard. So if you hear something you agree with, you disagree with, you like, you dislike, or just want to go ahead and give us a hot take, hit us up on a voicemail line. That's 219-413-9405. And of course, we will play your take back on our next episode. And then shout out to SeatGeek for sponsoring this episode. Get $20 off of your first ticket purchase when you use the promo code The Run Podcast. Now, this code can only be applied for first-time users on the mobile app or website. So I don't know about you, but basketball season is rolling strong. NFL playoffs is coming around. So you better go ahead, create that account, purchase that ticket for the first time, save yourself $20 on that purchase. Now, on the other hand, Atlanta Falcons got some decisions to make. Now, it's nothing at all to do with postseason, but it is pretty much still important. We'll touch on the postseason things in just a sec. But as you know, Falcons, they won over the Arizona Cardinals. They ended up beating the Cardinals 26-19, and I thought it was a pretty solid game on the Falcons' part. Now they moved to 6-9. This is their second straight win. It's a disaster that a team that's 3-12 put up this much of a fight, but whatever. That's another story for a different time. Another good news for a lot of Falcons fans is that that pick they traded to the Rams is no longer a top 10 pick anymore. They moved out of the top 10 slot. So now it's at number 11 or 12, I believe. And long story short, to explain that is the more the Falcons win, the further that pick gets away from a top 10 pick. And the least the Falcons win, then the higher that pick goes. So, it is a good thing for a lot of Falcons fans. That's been the main concern is like we traded with the Rams and now they're still going to get a top 5 at one point or a top 10 pick because of the trade. So, it does make things a little weird. But in this game against the Cardinals, I noticed there was a lot of cleaned up penalties. Didn't see as many penalties and all those type of things that I noticed last week in that game against the Buccaneers. But, I still feel a ways about when the Falcons win these ball games. I'm going to be 100% honest. I'm never really happy because every time I see it, especially if it's a good offensive performance or close game. The credit, of course, goes to head coach Raheem Morris and offensive coordinator Zach Robinson. And it's just like, the hype starts all over again of like, should we keep them for another year? The answer is no. No way the Falcons should keep Raheem Morris for another year. The Falcons do this every single year where they start winning games that's not even important as soon as there's nothing left to prove. As soon as they're kicked out of the playoffs and as soon as nothing else matters in the regular season, that's when they want to start playing good football. And that's when they want to start winning ball games. So don't fall for the bait. Don't take the bait. I know Kyle Pitts has been playing good. I know Bijan has did his thing, but do not take that bait, man. This is what the Falcons do. Every time they're no longer in playoff contention, that's when they want to decide to play good football, and that's when they start winning ball games. So no, because they won back-to-back games, this doesn't mean Raheem Morris needs to keep his job. This doesn't mean Zach Robinson, the offensive coordinator, needs to keep his job. They both still need to very much go. They need to go. Now, I'd be shocked if they come out and beat the Rams this following week, which I'll explain in a little bit, but they also play the Saints too. So I don't think a win out is going to be the situation here. But bottom line is nothing that the Falcons do at this point can permit Raheem Morris to get another year. I don't think that should be the case. He wasted the entire season to actually get us to the playoffs and utilize the talent we have on this team. And now you wait till the last 5 weeks to start winning games. So no, nothing permits that in my mind, in my book, that allows him to get another year. Absolutely not. But the good thing, a couple of good things come from these wins with the Falcons. Bijan Robinson, he made some history, man. Got to shout out to Bijan Robinson. Was absolutely balling, but Bijan Robinson became one of 6 active players to hit a 2,000-yard season in the regular season. So the only other 5 are Derrick Henry, Christian McCaffrey, Saquon Barkley, Josh Jacobs, and Jonathan Taylor. And in addition, Bijan Robinson now only needs 68 more total yards to set the record for most career scrimmage yards before turning 24. And this is huge. The only people who are in front of him are Christian McCaffrey and Barry Sanders. So I'm sure Bijan Robinson is going to break this record. And this is tremendous because, wow, him doing this with this team. And I have some of the film to show like the team that like he doesn't have a lot of opportunities. A lot of these opportunities that Bijan Robinson has and that he's creating in the offense that looks so amazing is things that he's doing on his own. Like it's rough. And I got some film to just prove that. So stick with me. I'm excited about Bijan Robinson doing his thing. This kind of brings me to the dominance of Kyle Pitts. He's had a great season his past few games. And I mean, he's looking like he's going to be worth every single penny that somebody decides to pay him. And this has been the conversation in Atlanta is, should the Falcons pay Kyle Pitts? I'm on the verge of saying, hell no. The Falcons should not pay Kyle Pitts. 1, because we don't have the money to do it. And 2, why would we pay him if we're not going to utilize him like we've been doing for the last 4 years? Makes no sense at all. And going back to the money thing, it's not really a logical way we can break down the salary cap where Kyle Pitts is going to be able to stay on this roster and we can keep Drake London and Bijan Robinson in the following years. It's just not a way. And if I have to choose between Kyle Pitts, Bijan Robinson, and Drake London, I'm choosing Drake London and Bijan Robinson. And there's no way we can really balance all 3 because when you look into the salary cap and the cap space that we have, not a lot of money next year at all. So already we know Pitts is going to get a bag because he's been underutilized in Atlanta. So I'm sure Kyle Pitts is going to get a bag wherever he goes. And the number that we throw at Kyle Pitts is not going to be enough compared to what other teams like the Patriots might give, what the Bears might try and give him, what the Chiefs might try and give him. Who knows who's going to offer Kyle Pitts so much money? But Kyle Pitts recently broke a franchise record for most receiving yards in a 4-game span by a tight end. Falcons are not going to be able to afford him. He's been on a tear. And I know, the whole thing is like, okay, well, we can lose a couple guys. We can cut some guys and this and that, and maybe we can keep Kyle Pitts on. That's not going to work. Looking at the numbers of it, and I hate to be that guy, but looking at the numbers of it, it's no way the Falcons are going to be able to keep Kyle Pitts because we got to pay him this year. And I'm expecting Kyle Pitts to at least get over 40 mil, man. Like I really do think Kyle Pitts will get over 40 mil. And just to kind of, let me just look around to where a lot of these other contracts are for tight ends, because I'm sure he's going to become a very one, if not one of the highest paid tight ends in the NFL. That's without a doubt in my mind. So I'm sure that's going to be on his list because he has the dominance to do it. But it's just, I don't think the Falcons will be able to pay that. And I would love for it. This isn't for me to say we shouldn't pay Kyle Pitts at all, but this is something where, hey, we just don't have it. We just don't have it for the Falcons. And I look at like Trey McBride and George Kittle. They're getting paid a little over 19. You got to add the incentives in there, but 19 million. So I'm sure Kyle Pitts, without a doubt, is at least going to get a $19 million contract. And if we were even going to pay Kyle Pitts a $19 million contract, just going based on what we're seeing from everyone else, which I doubt we only have to pay him that much, I'm sure it's just not going to be enough because we won't be able to bring back a lot of other people. So we pay Kyle Pitts whatever amount. I'm sure he's going to get paid a good amount. We have other guys who are coming up on contracts as well, who are difference makers on the field. So it's just not enough it's just not enough cap space that the Atlanta Falcons have to, cut or decide not to re-sign certain guys to pay Kyle Pitts if we're not going to get rid of 3 or 4 other impact players. I mean, Onyemata, he's going to be gone. Leonard Floyd, he can't come back. Caden Ellis, he can't come back. D. Alford, Tyler Algier, and multiple other people are up for contracts in this 2026 year. So those guys, none of those guys are coming back if we want to think about giving Kyle Pitts some money to bring him back. And I mean, my thing here is the whole thing I have with, paying Kyle Pitts is it's not that I don't think he's a good player. Of course, I think Kyle Pitts is a great football player. I think he has a crazy amount of potential to thrive in the NFL and thrive with a good game plan, a good team, but he's just been underutilized with the Falcons. However, the last thing I want the Falcons to do is to center 75% of their calorie space or their salary cap around 3 to 4 players. That hasn't worked out for a lot of teams over the course of the 10 years. The last thing I want to do is for us to only pay Bijan, Drake London, Kyle Pitts, and Kirk Cousins, and that's it. We don't have any defensive pieces. We don't have any secondary help. We have no other core outside of those guys and no other help outside of those guys, because you look at Cincinnati, what the Bengals are doing right now. They're kind of struggling to build an actual team because a large majority of the contracts are going to T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, and Joe Burrow. And they haven't been able to get it done, unfortunately. So that's the last trap I want to fall into. However, I would love to re-sign Kyle Pitts, and I think he's had a tremendous season so far. And we've seen a lot of glimpses of his potential, but Kyle Pitts will just be better utilized somewhere else, man. I think he'll be better utilized somewhere else, and it will hurt as a Falcons fan to see Kyle Pitts walk. But again, if I have to choose between Kyle Pitts, Bijan Robinson, and Drake London in the following years, I'm choosing Drake London and Bijan Robinson, because let me tell you something, because if we pay Kyle Pitts this year, 2027, we have to pay Drake London. And then the following year after that, 2028, we have to pay Bijan Robinson. And we know both of those guys are hitting the bank hard. So I'm just saying, this is not a great idea to pay Kyle Pitts and go broke before we have to pay another huge amount to these other guys. And the biggest contract that's really screwing us all here is, we know, the Kirk Cousins, because Kirk is still making $40 million a year. And if we could somehow ship him out, get him gone, we will be able to bring in other players. We'll be able to retain our same guys. And I'm sure there's another quarterback out there that's making way less money than what Kirk Cousins is that could give us the same impact and get us to a positive record. And a lot of that starts with coaching, but that's another story as well. So we'll see where it goes from here. But above all, man, I'm not on the side of paying Kyle Pitts. Great player. I just don't think it'll be smart for the future to keep him around, man, unfortunately. And he's a great tight end. I hope he gets his money, but I just don't think it'll be smart. And if I'm wrong, correct me if I'm wrong. Hit us up on the voicemail line, 219-413-9405. Let me know what you might be thinking about the whole Kyle Pitts situation, if we should be paying him, if we shouldn't. And it's interesting, man. It'll be tough. It'll be tough to decide, but it'll be tough to decide. Also, I have some film to break down, so stay tuned. If you are on the live, or you might have to go back, if you're listening to the pod and watching on live on YouTube, The Run with Manny Wilson, just look at some of the film breakdown, and also it'll be on social media as well. So Of course, we'll put that on there, but definitely some field breakdown coming up. So we'll circle back to this. Until then, we'll take a quick break. We got some news for the run. A lot of crazy things happen in week 16 of the NFL. So, of course, we'll get into the highlights and all of those things that happen of week 16 and who's going to be in the playoffs, who's not, who's clinching, who's not, all of these things. So we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. It is halftime.
All right, people, serious question time. Did you know that driving high is considered driving under the influence? That's right. Driving under the influence of marijuana is against the law in every state. That means even in states where marijuana is legal. That means driving high could get you a DUI. And if you think law enforcement officers can't tell when you're driving high, well, you're wrong. If you're high, they can tell. Your friends can tell. Your coworkers can tell. Even your parents can tell. Everyone can tell. So what makes you think that law enforcement officers don't know when you're driving high? You'd be wrong. They can tell too. Driving under the influence of marijuana can slow your response time and change how you perceive time and speed. So even if you think you're fine to drive when you're high, you're not. Because the bottom line is, if you feel different, you drive different, and driving high is driving under the influence. So remember, drive high, get a DUI. Paid for by NHTSA.
Nationwide is so much more than a great insurance company. They're one of America's largest financial services companies. Like how I'm more than Saquon Barkley, the NFL's reigning leading rusher. I'm also the NFL's leading husher. Shh, hush up back there. Wow, I might have just set the hushing record. Well, almost. For your insurance and financial needs, Nationwide is on your side.
Nationwide Investment Services Corporation, member FINRA, Columbus, Ohio.
It's a special Christmas edition of Thursday Night Football, and it's only on Prime Video. Live now, the Denver Broncos take on the Kansas City Chiefs on Christmas night. Cap off your holiday with an old-school rivalry. This is a must-watch game. Christmas night, grab your favorite holiday snacks, huddle up with the family and friends, and get ready for fireworks on the field. Not a Prime member? Not a problem. Simply sign up for a 30-day free trial. It's the Broncos and Chiefs, live right now, only on Prime Video. Restrictions apply. See Amazon.com/Amazon Prime for details.
All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to The Run with me, Manny Wilson. I appreciate you for tuning in. We got some news for The Run, so hit us up on the voicemail line if you want to comment on anything that is said. That is 219-413-9405. And, of course, we'll play your take back on the next episode. Now, I just kind of want to give a quick rundown of which teams has solidified a playoff spot already and which has not. So, let's start in the AFC to start with teams that have clinched. It's a lot of deciding factors that's going on right now in the AFC, man. It's crazy. It's only two teams that have solidified their spot, and that is the Denver Broncos and the New England Patriots. Those two teams have solidified it. Where exactly they'll be in the playoffs, we don't know, but as of right now, they are the top two seeds, Broncos being number one and the Patriots being number two. And then in the NFC, a lot of teams have clinched playoff berth. We still don't know where exactly they will land. However, the Seattle Seahawks are right now the number one seed. They've clinched a spot. Chicago Bears have clinched a spot. Philadelphia Eagles have clinched the division. Still unsure where they'll fall in the playoffs. Rams have solidified their playoff spot. The Carolina Panthers are still fighting right now, but it's looking like they might win the division. San Francisco 49ers have clinched the playoff spot. They are officially locked in. And then after that, got the Packers fighting and the Lions are fighting. And it's a very unique situation for both of those teams right now. But it's tough all along, man, in these divisions and in these conferences. So we'll see what actually happens between these teams. But I know, for example, like the Lions, they are dependent on the Packers to lose out. However, they have to win out in order to possibly get in the playoffs. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes down, man. And I know a lot of things are weird with the AFC or the AFC or NFC West as well, because Seahawks and Rams are just battling, man. These are both 11-win teams who are in the playoffs. And you see a similar situation in the AFC as well with the Chargers, the Bills, the Jaguars. All are 11-win teams and they're still trying to fight for a playoff spot. Meanwhile, you got the Colts who are in the running as well, but they're currently losing to the San Francisco 49ers. So we'll see exactly what happens. However, let's go over some scores from Week 16, because maybe you've heard some insights about what needs to happen for your team to make the playoffs. So a little recap here is Seahawks, they beat the Rams on Thursday Night Football. This was a showdown, man. Overtime game, absolute thriller here. Seahawks won 38-37, and it came down to the very last second in OT. Really just an extra 2 point, as I say, the last second. But it was amazing game here for the Seahawks and Rams. Eagles, they ended up beating the Commanders on Saturday Night Football. And the Packers and the Bears game was also insane. Absolute cinema with the Packers and the Bears game, man. Just wild. And, at this point, I said it before early on in the season that the Bears are a scary team because they can beat you in multiple ways, whether that's running the football, throwing the football, or getting defensive turnovers. Hence, they are first in turnovers right now. But the Bears are just finding ways to win these close games, as I've said multiple years. Meanwhile, in the past few years, they weren't winning these ball games, but they finally figured it out. They've always been in the fight of these games that they've played over the past few years. They just haven't been able to win it, whether it was a missed field goal, whether it was an interception, a fumble, a bad call. They're winning these ball games. So the Bears have a lot of momentum going with them right now, and I think they could be a very scary team to go against in the playoffs. Not saying they're going to go all the way to the Super Bowl or anything like that, and it may happen. You take it game by game and you see what goes down, but ultimately they can be a very scary team to match up against in the playoffs because they are an elite team, and I think at this point it's obvious to everybody who's watched the Bears. It's obvious. But that's the Chicago Bears. They beat the Packers in overtime, 22-16. The Falcons, they beat the Arizona Cardinals, 26-19. The Bills, they beat the Browns, 23-20. Chargers, they beat the Cowboys, 34-17. Chiefs, they ended up losing to the Titans, 26-9. However, the Chiefs, they have a lot of news going on right now. The Kansas City Chiefs are officially going to be moving out of Missouri. This news broke earlier today that they will be moving to Kansas, and I don't know exactly where, but they are going to be building or having a building something like that. They're going to be using something, but they won't be in Kansas City next season. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes on. But yeah, I don't even know all the details, but you would have to go. It's probably more information out on it right now, but initially, when I seen this, that was all I seen was that the Chiefs will not be playing football in Missouri next season. So that'll be very interesting. Obviously, we know Pat Mahomes with the injury, no playoffs for the Chiefs. Very rough season for those Kansas City Chiefs fans, man, especially those in Kansas City. The Bengals, they ended up beating the Miami Dolphins 45-21. The Saints, they beat the Jets. The Vikings, they beat the Giants. The Panthers, they beat the Buccaneers. This was an important win because Panthers probably going to win the NFC South, which is crazy. This NFC South, let me just first say this, man. All right, I know Panthers are about to win the NFC South, but I think it's only right to admit that the NFC South is just full of bad football right now. In my opinion, it shouldn't even be an NFC South team that's in the playoffs, because we're just taking up space at this point, man. And nobody in the NFC South is like truly legit. Everybody's super inconsistent, whether that's the Bucs and Baker Mayfield, whether that's the Panthers and Bryce Young. Like, everybody's just very inconsistent. You beat the Bills and you lose to the Jets, or it's just so inconsistent in the NFC South all across the board. And I mean, the best rival over there between the Falcons and the Aints ain't even, anything. Neither of those teams are good right now. So it don't really even matter in the NFC South. That's another thing. But I'll say that story for a different time. But, hey, congrats to the Panthers, I guess. Do your thing. Make the best out of the opportunity. As a Falcons fan, I was hoping it was me, but it's not. So do your thing, player. Go ahead. Other than that, you got the Jaguars and the Broncos. The Jaguars, they defeated the Broncos 34-20. And this was crazy because Broncos and Jaguars are both on a crazy win streak. Well, Broncos no more, but prior to, Broncos were on a pretty good winning streak. I believe it was 10 games or 11 games. And then the Jaguars now find themselves on a 6-game win streak. Next week, they play the Colts. So we'll see what happens. But they're rolling with a lot of momentum right now. And, Jaguars are definitely striking some belief in fans and just fans who are in Jacksonville Jaguars fans. So it's close, man. We'll see what they do come postseason. Also, the Steelers and the Detroit Lions, man. Steelers ended up winning this game. It was kind of a bogus call. They won 29-24. It was a close game, man. And I go back to thinking about this for Lions fans. And I really don't say this because I swear, man, Lions fans think I'd say stuff to troll them, but I'm really not trying to troll any type of Lions fans. I really do mean when I say things like, okay, the Lions missed their playoff window. I don't mean like they're going to be bad back to the depressing years or more so when the Lions missed their Super Bowl window. I don't mean they're going to be bad back to the depressing years or anything like that. Sometimes I just think like when you have a certain team, and I think we can agree on this, going to the Super Bowl is hard, first off. So I understand no one wants to hear a team miss their Super Bowl window. But going to the Super Bowl is very difficult to do. And I think Lions had an extremely talented team in 2023 and also 2024 when Ben Johnson was there. I think they had a great team, and that was the years for them to go win it because they had the talent on that roster. I know the numbers look identical to other years, but certain things, sometimes it just makes me wonder if they really did miss their Super Bowl window, man. I go back and forth on the window is closed, the window is still open because they had their core. But truthfully, I go back and forth because they had a really good team and a really good opportunity when the conference wasn't as elite as it's become. Now you have multiple teams who are all elite. I mean, the Bears have stepped it up big time. Just in the division alone, it's a lot of elite talent. So because of this, it does worry me a little bit because Bears are only going to get better. Packers are only going to get better. I mean, you look at the other teams in the NFC South. I mean, it's Seahawks, Rams, or NFC Rams and Seahawks. Like these teams are elite now. So the competition is rising. 49ers are still elite. The competition is just rising in the NFC. And that is really what permits me to say the Lions Super Bowl window is closed. But truthfully, I go back and forth. So I can't say, oh, it's closed and this is exactly why. I can't say it's still open and this is exactly why. Because I jump back and forth. I struggle, man. So I think they had a really good opportunity to win it in 2023, 2024. And it might have been the only opportunity, as Dan Campbell said. Like, it's just rough, man. It's rough. It's rough for those Lions fans. But I don't think they'll ever get back to the losing season after losing season. They still have the core. They'll be good. And, as long as they bring in more pieces, I think Brad Holmes has to bring in a few more pieces year in and year out. I mean, he didn't do anything at the deadline. That rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. But it's definitely not closed. But there's some work to be done in order to get back to like contention for the Super Bowl, man. I guess that's what it is. It's just some work to be done. Yeah, it's rough. It really is very, very rough, man. But the Lions, they are almost eliminated from the playoffs. They need the Packers to lose out as the Lions have to win out through the rest of the season, and then they would possibly get in the postseason. Other than that, you have the Raiders and the Texans. Texans, they are in a serious situation as well to beating some teams and needing teams to lose as well. I don't have exactly what teams it is, and I can come back with that information, but just know you want to look into the Texans playoff situation as well because they got some situations. But they beat the Raiders 23-21. It was a pretty solid game. The game was a lot closer than what I anticipated. And then the Patriots and the Ravens, that was the primetime game. Drake May, he did his thing. Patriots erased an 11-point lead, and they came back and beat the Ravens. Lamar Jackson did go down again. But for the Ravens, man, this is rough. This is just rough for the Ravens. So, I don't know. But other than that, man, look, that's everything that done happened over in Week 16 of the NFL. Other than that, we'll close it out, and then we'll possibly, I still don't know, because Thursday is Christmas. Usually that's when we record, but we'll see. I can't promise that we'll get the other episode, but just bear with me. We will be active on social media. So, definitely check the social media, if anything. And other than that, man, I'm looking forward to Week 17. I got fantasy championship. I made it all the way to the championship in fantasy. So I'm hype about that, man. And I'm hoping I win in fantasy, bro. Whoo, I need the dub. I need the dub because I'm in 3 leagues total in fantasy. 2 of them, I'm honestly, I probably ain't even win 3 games. But one of these leagues, I'm in the final championship game. And possibly, As long as Brock Purdy don't splurge, I'll be all right. But I'm hoping I win that ball game because I need it. Other than that, man, I'm going to leave y'all on a positive note and break down this film after. But for those who listen on the podcast episode, I appreciate it. Send this to a cousin, brother, niece, nephew, uncle, coworker, friend, family member, whoever listens to sports podcasts. I promise you they're not going to mind. And a positive note is simply just going to be run your race, man. Everybody not built for the same path that you're doing. Some people want you to stop that path. Some people want you to keep going. But as long as you believe in yourself and you know you can accomplish whatever you need to accomplish on that path, stick to it, bro. Stick to it. Don't worry about people saying, oh, that's not a good market for you. Or, maybe you are always good at acting. Maybe you should do that instead of singing, or whatever the case, whatever you are doing, just go hard in your lane. And as long as you know you're going hard in that lane, you straight. Don't worry about what other folks saying. Other than that, man, that's all I got for y'all. So I appreciate it. I don't know if that was extremely positive or not, but we'll see. Merry Christmas to everybody. Merry Christmas. I ain't got nothing Christmas on. That is crazy. I should have at least put a bow on the hat or something. Damn. But Merry Christmas to y'all folks, man. Hope you enjoy these football games that we about to watch. Some of these teams don't matter because they eliminated already. My team is gone. We up out of the playoffs. Everybody else, enjoy the game. Merry Christmas. Hopefully your team win. Hopefully my coach get fired. You see, we don't know yet. We'll find out Black Monday. But hey, man, Merry Christmas. Enjoy the holidays. Happy holidays. If you don't celebrate Christmas, do your thing. If you don't celebrate any holidays and you just on whatever mode, enjoy these football games. Other than that, I'm up out of here, man. I appreciate you guys, and y'all have a blessed week. And we'll see y'all later on. It's so on and so on and so on.
Marriott Bonvoy is the official hotel partner of US Soccer. Join Marriott Bonvoy today to get closer to the game with exclusive perks, unforgettable experiences, and benefits that go beyond the pitch. Spring Hill Suites, part of Marriott Bonvoy, offers complimentary hot breakfast and spacious all-suite accommodations, perfect for the whole team, with room for up to 6 guests. Make your next getaway a win. Learn more at springhillsuites.marriott.com.
College football never stops. When college football news breaks, it breaks on On3. From the transfer portal to the playoff race to coaching changes, the sport is moving every single day. That's why college football fans turn to On3, a trusted authority with real reporters and real communities built around the teams you care about. Find all of your favorite teams and join the community. Get the full picture at on3.com. That's ON and the number 3.com.
If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening. Happy holidays! Want to give your host a gift? Consider subscribing, rating, and reviewing the show this holiday season. It really helps the show grow. From all of us at Believe, have a Merry Christmas, everyone, and a Happy Holiday.